Over the last 5 years, you've watched us fall in love with our floating home in Dioko, a Leopard 47 catamaran. She'd had a hard life before we found her, with 15 years of bareboat chartering and abuse. But we've loved her back to life, and in return she's carried us safely over 17,000 miles from the Eastern Caribbean to the South Pacific. But it's not been without its challenges. Repairs have taken their toll, and limited access to supplies while sailing in some of the hardest to reach corners of the world have left their scars. And it's time we did something about that. However, we've never let boat work get in the way of adventure, and so as we share our plans with you, we're heading off the boat in search of the unmissable spots on this island in Samoa.
All right, we have organized ourselves some wheels for the day because we are treating ourselves. We are up on the north side of the island. We've heard that there's some really interesting places on the south side that we would otherwise never be able to get to. So we are gonna take our lives in our hands. We're gonna take a moped out and hopefully come back with all fingers, toes, arms, legs, and integrity. Trainers, what's that about? It's quite funny because this marina is very loosely deemed a marina. Somebody described it the other day as one small gust away from complete collapse. It's kind of just been abandoned. There is a very nice lady actually called Sharon who looks after it, but it's more of like a checking in, checking out, kind of like she's running an Airbnb more than it is someone who actually manages an entire marina resort. But yeah, people just seem to make their own spaces. So you've got people actually in the pontoons over here, but then you've got like these two just abandoned boats who've decided just to prop themselves up in some old pilings because, you know, why not? Nicely done.
There's so much to see here in Samoa that we never knew existed. With a 100-mile ring road that goes around the whole island, we've decided to leave Dioko in the northern town of Apia and instead head inland. Car rental is pretty cheap here, but scooters are even cheaper. So although they're not very common here, it gets us out there and we're excited to share the adventure with you, even if it means letting Ian take the wheel.
Well, I think I deserve a prize for surviving that. I have never been on a bike before and I thought it would be easier if Ian was driving, but you've got to put a lot of trust in the person who's driving a bike to like lean around the corners and not fall off and skin your knees.
You just have to learn to trust me.
So we've come to this Bahai'i house of worship, which I know absolutely nothing about, but friends of ours went and said it was really interesting. So we're going to see if we can kind of have a little look around and, I'm not sure, see what they have here.
Cool looking building though. That's cool. All right, so we're learning a little bit about this now. The religion of Bahai is kind of, to be honest, picking and choosing from different religions to formulate one faith, I guess. So this place got built back in the 1980s, 1978, something like that. And it essentially sees all the different prophets from different religions as being united under their one faith. So kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever come across anything like it before. The building itself is pretty spectacular, and it seems to represent a religion that is global. I think it started in India and then has spread out across a few different places, including Panama, which is weird because we didn't hear anything about it there.
Yeah, this place was designed by a Canadian architect, and he came to Samoa to try and learn what the Samoan way of life was and said it was so kind of simplistic that he wanted the building to be very, very simple, and then tried to echo the design of the little fales, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that word, these like buildings that you see out in the countryside a lot. Often you see them like as almost like beach huts. So I think it's all quite open air to try and get the breeze through. And most of it is just white because he thought that looked really cool against the stark background of all of the greenery and the life behind.
I've tried to break into a temple. What does that mean? I found a way in.
Oh, that's easier.
I've been sitting there trying to like jimmy the door to break into the temple, and I feel like sliding
quite
the door.
welcoming.
The acoustics in here are insane. Listen to this.
Well, we just about managed to stay silent through there. Well, I did. You struggled.
I used to work in acoustics. It's ridiculous, the space.
The acoustics do look, in some ways, incredible. In some ways, absolutely terrible because the whole thing is round. But it was so hard not to sing in there and to see what it sounded like. I was like, I really want to, but that would be quite offensive. So we held back.
It's really funny because normally, like, you think like churches and places of spirituality are tend to like lower the blood pressure. They're a place of peace, tranquility.
Yeah.
I actually think my blood pressure has gone up because it was just too torturous to make no noise. And there was a bird had made it in there and it would flap its wings and it would like rattle around. And my brain can't cope with that. It's wild. Sometimes it's like filming with Baymax. Brainy's seen a butterfly and she's chasing it around the path.
Hello, butterflies.
All right, we're going to move on. That means I need to get brave again and get back on the bike. And hopefully we'll go and find a waterfall.
What could go wrong? Call me the Tetris king.
Woohoo!
On the way here, every time you would look from one side to the other side of the scooter, I'd get smacked on the back of my head. So we're going to get the bag out the way, which I think means you can sit a little bit further back, and then maybe I don't have to get concussion. All right, you can tell we are getting very high up. So bear in mind, Samoa is a volcano, basically, that turned into a country. And we just passed a huge sign that said, warning, dense fog area, and then drove straight past this incredible viewing point because we didn't see it. Feeling cold yet?
It's definitely getting chilly, and I'm thinking maybe we should have brought jackets because it's
Gonna rain?
a high chance that it's going to start raining, but it was sunny this morning, so I didn't think of it.
I'm just worried because, you're getting shelter. My knees are freezing.
Your knees? My whole legs are freezing. You know what this reminds me of? There was a hike that we did in Guadeloupe, which was one of the first briny hikes we ever took you on.
Oh, that was terrifying.
Went up through a forest. It was like, it had been built quite well, but clearly nobody had ever gone on that trail. But we ended up at a waterfall like this with a little pool in the bottom. I kind of want to go in for a swim, but it's really far away because we're on the wrong side of the valley right now.
And freezing.
Oh yeah, that too. You can literally see the like foggy clouds drifting across. On that hike in Guadeloupe, we actually climbed through the cloud base and basically were getting rained, I was going to say on, but it wasn't rain falling down on us. It was just like being
Rained. We
encompassed
were
in
rain.
rain.
You became the rain. How unfair is this? I flew the drone. I was like, yeah, there's some clouds up high, but it'll be fine. And then just as I reached the waterfall, this whole cloud just engulfs it. We can't see it from here, which I can still see the drone for anyone official watching. But it's really, really dense.
Yeah, I was going to say we timed it right because we got here and we could just see the waterfall and now it's disappeared, but it's not good timing if we hadn't finished filming with the drone. But yeah, you look now and it's just a cloud. Well, that's apparently the tallest waterfall in Samoa. Do you think all the other ones we see are going to be rubbish now?
I think disappointment is in your future.
Maybe we should have saved this till last.
Well, maybe we do that in the edit.
Well, we just rode the bike down the mountain and through a rain cloud.
That was a little bit wet. So as we came down the hill from the waterfall, obviously the cloud that we were watching emptied on us all the way down. And
Literally drifting.
that's ridiculous. Look at the pattern. This is insane.
And we've now made it to a national park right on the south coast. So we're going to walk all the way out to the coast to see the sea, feel at home again.
Dry out.
Yeah, we need to find a little bit of sunshine because, well, you are definitely soggier than I am. I had a little bit of protection by somebody else sitting in front of me.
As you were going down the hill, the school kids were coming out for, I guess, lunch. And they were cracking up because it looked like I'd swam all the way there. I was dripping.
Found a little viewing point.
I think I found the official perch.
Oh, a perch, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of wild when you think about it, because over there, we're facing south, right?
Yeah.
So next stop is Tonga, and that strings its way down south, and then New Zealand is like over there.
Yeah, right. Not that far.
Not that far at all. It's so close now.
Yeah, so normally, as we're sailing around, we kind of only plan like the next country that we're going to, but we're starting to enter now the next few months. We've actually got to plan quite far in advance, which feels strange for us, but we have, if you missed the last couple of episodes, we have made a decision at last onto where we're kind of trying to get to this year. So our goal by November, when cyclone season kicks off again, is that we want to be down in New Zealand. Partly because we've never been there and people say it's like Scotland and so we really want to go. And partly because we have a whole ton of boat projects. We have not hauled Indioko out of the water since 2021 when we were in Trinidad. And so there's quite a lot of things needing our attention.
So one of the major things we need to do, we actually discovered when we changed the engines out, which was the connection between our engine and the propellers is a prop shaft, and it's held in place by a thing called the cutlass bearing, which they're made to wear out, but we have no idea when they were last done on Indioko. And we discovered when we changed the engines that one of the two, certainly, I think both, but one of the two was really wobbly, like really wobbly, which isn't great, could cause some serious damage. So we've been a little careful how we use the new nannies so that we didn't damage the prop shaft and ultimately damage the boat. So that's a priority. That's got to get done pretty soon.
Oh my goodness, look at that drop. That is just straight down.
I'm going to have to say it. The cliffs of insanity!
All right, I'm going to try and keep talking to the camera whilst also not falling off the cliff, because this is quite an exciting little coastal route that we've found here. The next major project that we really need to haul out for is technically right now, Indioko is actually sinking. Kind of slowly and just quietly, but it's obviously not ideal. Our through holes on the boat are still original, so that is 20 years old, and I think we counted up 17 of them, which is a ridiculous number of through holes. But if we don't fix the problem and replace them and sort them, then obviously the risk is quite high that a lot of water comes in the boat when we don't want it to, and we just lose the boat entirely.
I mean, obviously I have looked up YouTube videos where you do that sort of thing in the water, but I really don't think we should. Not us. Of all people, not us. And we do have a bunch of other projects in mind, some far more exciting than others, some far easier than others, some really not that easy at all. And one of the ones it sounds stupid because you might think it's just aesthetics, is to do with the gel coat. The gel coat is all the white that you see on Indioko. And basically, it's not been looked after for Indioko's entire life. We've done our best since we took over ownership of her. We have tried doing a heavy cut and polish. We've waxed. We've done basically anything we can think of to try and keep the gel coat protecting the fiberglass. Unfortunately, gel coat isn't the best substance to cover a boat in. It's actually more about the manufacturing than it is about the hardiness of it in the real world. So we haven't quite made our minds up yet, but the worst areas affected on the boat so far are the back steps, which spend a lot of time underwater when we're underway, and basically the gel coat's all but gone. So if you ever see video clips of us showing you when we're catching a fish or off the back of the boat, you might have noticed this big black kind of dirty patch. That's not actually dirt. That is the fiberglass that Indioko is made of, and it's just that the white covering has gone away. So we're going to have to come up with a plan to repair that, and it's not as simple as whipping out a paint can and covering it up, as we're fast finding out. So that's the last of the big projects, and then a couple of small fun ones that we'd like to do as well, just to, I don't know, give a new lease of life to the boat. There is, however, a bit of a problem.
Yes, as you know, boats are expensive. They are expensive to run and maintain, and they are expensive to fix, and we have an awful lot of projects coming up that are going to cost a fair amount of money to actually manage and finish. And if we are being completely honest with you, which is what we do try to be, we are running on less than $1,000 a month. That is, between the two of us, full total income. So that covers like all of our food, all of our travel, every time we pay to come into a new country and go to new places, and every time we do anything to fix up the boat.
Which is everything that needs fixing, basically, on the boat. As you've seen, we use duct tape, we use super glue, we'll use whatever we have to make Indioko work. And that has served us well for 5 straight years.
Yeah, I don't know how we are still going, to be honest, but somehow we are out here. But looking ahead to this haul out, it is quite a scary prospect, seeing the number of jobs that we need to really figure out a way to do.
Yeah, and so the other night I was answering comments on YouTube, which is something that if you leave a comment now, if you do it on your phone or you're seeing this on TV, you might have to open a device of some sort. But anyway, if you comment on our videos, I answer every single one, pretty much without fail. Sometimes you jump in, but generally me. And constantly, you guys are asking whether or not there's ways you could support us, help us out. You've got suggestions and ideas. And that got us thinking.
So even if you're not a patron, but if you want to support our channel, if you want to see us keep going and traveling more, then we have created a page on our website where you can read about all the projects that we are thinking of doing, that we're
Ideas.
playing around with and trying to figure out a way that we can make work. If you want to just go take a look at that, if you would like to donate and help us keep going, then you can donate as little or as much as you would like. And that will actually enable us to keep fixing up the boat and to keep traveling, because we're not quite sure what else to do, to be honest.
Not a clue. And this thing, if you're a patron already, thank you so much for your help. As Brian was saying, every single month you guys are keeping us literally alive. So
Oh yeah.
thank you for that. This speaks almost more to the people who enjoy what we're doing. They're following the journey, they're taking part, they're commenting every week, whatever. It's anybody out there who's watching this who thinks, well, these two clowns are clearly clueless and need a bit of help. Yeah, we do. So it would really be very special to us. We'd be so grateful if you'd consider helping us out. And we'll keep trying to give stuff away for free. We'll keep trying to bring out videos for you every single week. Yeah, all of that stuff.
And we can promise that if we do get to the yard and we do haul out, there will be a whole bunch of boat project videos, which we know everybody loves.
Everybody loves those things. The problem is we have to get to New Zealand, which involves quite a few very flaky sailing.
I'm already so scared about that. We're just blanking that out and not thinking about it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Fine.
It's a problem for future us. The floor is literally lava. Ooh, that was cracked. So you know how I often joke about when you get to cliff edge and like people like to test it with one foot because they're nervous that it might fall away?
Yeah.
This entire area is one giant crack.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it's just ready to go.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't want to fall in.
Don't dare to stand on it. Are you in the slightest bit nervous that this is all a volcano and at some point it was liquid?
I know, I just can't get my head around it. Like, I don't think I've seen a volcano before.
You swam in a volcano.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, well, this is rubbish. I don't need to see it then.
I'm just nervous that this entire coastline is, whoa.
Look at that! I was just walking out to the edge to get a really good shot and then remembered what we had seen about the big cracks in the overhang. So I'm gonna step back again to safety.
I think we're all right.
I know that sailing is like slower paced travel compared to flying somewhere, but even so, I am so used to living in like flat, remote desert islands that to suddenly see caves and roaring waves and cliffs and stuff like that, it's so dramatic, but it's so different from what we're used to seeing. This is incredible.
Sure, this is a path.
Vaguely.
I mean,
Feels much more path-like than our usual hikes.
well, as in there's a clearing in the rocks.
There you go. Oh, that's an overhang.
It actually is a very big, deep overhang.
Run across it really fast.
I'm gonna do this
Lightly
on quick.
towed.
Light feet. Goat feet.
Be a mouse, be a mouse. Scamper. My turn, here we go, here we go, here we go. Ah, I can see the waves crashing below me. Well, now this is cool. It's like the end of the hike is not the top of a mountain peak. We've just been going along a coastal route, but there's this huge lava field and you can just see all the patterns in the rocks from when the volcano exploded however many hundreds of years ago and left all of this here. This is wild. I also like it that when we do a a hike, you get to the top and then the view is revealed. And I've had to really stop myself from looking out at the view along the coast as we've come along. But now, that's incredible. We've not come any higher up, any further, taller up a mountain, and yet we still have a new view revealed. That's amazing.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
This is actually the top of like a lava bubble that formed and creased up.
Yeah.
It
That's
popped
cool.
right there, I guess, and just went.
You're gonna walk over the top.
It's very narrow.
It is very narrow. How's your balance?
Not good enough for that to be sensible.
All right. Oh, I was about to say, why did you not do it, you absolute chicken? And then now it's windy and there was a massive wave. Oh, that is terrifying. I really want to do it though.
Yeah, why didn't you do it? You absolutely win.
See, you might not think it, but we are sometimes sensible. I know that we come to these crazy places where no one's ever heard of, but apparently we do have limits.
Okay, this is all very fun, and seeing lava and cliffs and waves is cool, but it has started to rain, and we have a very wet scooter ride ahead of us.
Well, we nearly got stranded, but somehow we have magicked our way out of trouble yet again.
Improvisation at its best, yeah. We are on the wrong side of an island and probably about an hour and a half's drive from any fuel station.
Yeah, it turns out there are no fuel stations on here, and everyone was kind of looking at us weirdly as we drove past, and it's clear that you can't come here on a scooter because the fuel tank is so tiny that you don't have enough mileage to get all the way around and back to town again. But we managed to find some friendly people who sold us some, and now here we are, gonna go for a swim.
It's like a giant sinkhole.
Yeah, fun.
But that was a scary day when that just went. Yeah, so we've come to the Tosua Ocean Trench, which basically is a giant sinkhole on the ground. And some wise person said, you know what, why don't we make that accessible to people so they can have a little swim? So we're gonna get changed, jump in, and if we weren't cold and wet enough already, we're gonna be shivering by the end of this.
Well, imagine if we had come here on a sunny day, this would have been like really lovely and cool and refreshing, but it's actually kind of overcast, grey and rainy, and we are about to be incredibly freezing.
All right, so I've already made a mistake. Apparently these aren't sinkholes, it's actually a lava tube. So along this part of the island, there's I think 7 craters or 6 craters to the volcano that basically the entire island is. And yeah, these tubes run out all the way to the sea, and in the ceiling collapse. And that's what created these caves, which you can just jump down and swim inside and not melt from lava.
We seem to get these places all for ourselves. It's crazy. Well, we seem to have this whole place to ourselves, so we are just gonna hang out here and enjoy this incredible space. And we'll see you next time.
So we have. Let's try that again.